Hello, everyone. I would like to welcome you all to this webinar on AI-powered SAP testing and how we at LTIMindtree have been leveraging the generative AI in enhancing the testing experience for our customers. Please feel free to post your queries in the question sections, and we will try to answer during the webinar as much as we can or respond to you post the webinar as well. Let me start with a quick intro about myself and then pass it on to my peer presenters for today. I'm Ajay Sridhar. I have about 13 years of experience in SAP ERP and quality engineering practices. Having worked on S4 transformation and technical upgrade projects most of my career, I've had a great experience with Tricentis suite of products. And in the last couple of years, we at LTIMindtree have been developing and deploying futuristic AI-based accelerators that integrate with Tricentis suite of products in delivering QE solutions for our customers. I will now pass on to my colleague. Um, no, Guru is just joining in, so maybe he has a little bit of a glitch. Okay, Guru is here. Guru, do you want to quickly introduce yourself and pass it on to Bill?
Sure. Hello, everyone. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, from wherever you are. My name is Guru Guha Vijayapur. I lead the SAP BTP and Generative AI competency within LTIMindtree. I come with over 26 years of industry experience. I love to solve customer problems and work closely with the testing center of excellence within LTIMindtree to see how we can reimagine testing value assurance through generative AI. So happy to be on the call and have a great chat with you all. Thank you.
Thanks, Guru. Bill, do you want to take over?
Yes, greetings everyone. My name is Bill Hayden, and I am an Enterprise Alliance Architect with Tricentis. And what that means is I work almost exclusively with our tremendous partner community and how we take our solutions to market together and how they can complement the wonderful people, processes, and technologies our partners already have in place. I too, ironically, have 26 years experience in this industry, starting as a performance engineer, test automation specialist, and then build up to Y2K. If anyone remembers that far back, this gray hair is very well deserved. And I work with a lot of companies in the ecosystem as a practitioner, both on the consulting and pre-sale side, all the way up to running business units for several of those organizations. I have the best job in the world now working with our partners and how to take these things to market. And nowhere is that more fascinating right now than the SAP space. I've been working in that since about 2004 and seeing how our AI-based solutions are dovetailing so nicely with our partners' generative AI initiatives is such a fast-moving dynamic field, and we hope to show you just a glimpse of that today. Now, before we jump in, just a little bit more on Tricentis, for those of you who may not know us. In 2007, our founder, Wolfgang Plotz, looked at the test automation landscape and realized we simply weren't keeping up with the pace of change. The pace of change caused our automation, which was supposed to solve all our testing problems going back to Y2K, as I mentioned, to constantly be in a state of disrepair. We were literally spending less time running and more time fixing our automated tests. So where's the business value? Guru already mentioned value. How do we bring QA into the world where it's providing business value again? So he came up with three very simple concepts. One, what if we could do less testing but do it more intelligently? That we knew for every change in the system, even in this accelerated pace, that we'd be able to test exactly the right thing every time. Two, well, let's tackle that automation problem. What was causing automation rates to be so low because of high maintenance overhead? Well, it's because everything we built in the automation world was based on a scripting language or programming language. So the more coverage we had, the more technical debt we inherently built into the system. In fact, as early as 2004, an old friend of mine, Charlie Lee, wrote a book on this and said your break-even point's roughly 40% automation coverage. Anything above that, you're spending more time fixing than running. Well, lots happened since 2004. That was 21 years ago. You know where that point is now? It's about 15 to 20%. So what are you doing with the rest? Are we doing it manually? Are we doing it all? So Wolfgang's second idea was, let's solve this problem at the core. Let's take code out of the equation. Let's create a visual model-based solution to automation with a specific intent of minimizing maintenance and maximizing execution. even in the face of tremendous accelerated change. Hence, model-based test automation in our Tosca platform was created, and we were able to sustain 70 to 80% automation rates without an army of people and without spending more time fixing than running. With our latest enhancements, with neural network based self healing, with narrow machine learning vision AI, and with our new, soon to be released, generative AI autonomous test agentic creator, which I'm going to preview here at the end, I think you're going to see us tackling both those maintenance and those test creation problems and giving much more value and time to value minimized back to the customer. So, how do these fit in with what LTIMindtree is doing? What we're seeing in the partner community, and nowhere more so than LTI, is that they have charged ahead with their own army of generative AI capabilities meant to enhance what the testers are doing, allowing them to raise their testing to a higher level, apply more critical thinking, and taking a lot of those mundane, repetitive tasks off your plate. We're very proud to be a portion of what we're going to show you today, and that is the LTI Rely framework for SAP. So I'm very excited to transition to this next topic.
Thanks, Bill. We'll now move on to see LTIMindtree's competency and service offerings in the QE space, in the SAP QE space specifically, before talking about the generative AI solutions. At LTIMindtree, we have a dedicated SAP testing competency with over 1,100 SAP quality engineers who specialize in different modules of SAP and perform functional testing, automation, performance, data, and the security aspects of quality engineering. We are actively engaged in delivering end-to-end quality engineering solutions to over 60 customers across the globe, and we have a strong technology COE that supports in building custom solutions for our customers, including the AI-based solutions that we'll be discussing today in this webinar. LTIMindtree's testing competency is ranked highly by the top analysts in the industry, which is a proof to our commitment towards delivering quality solutions. We have a strong partnership with SAP, Tricentis, and other providers in the quality engineering space. Now, our partnership with Tricentis. Now, speaking of partnerships, we have a very strong alliance partnership with Tricentis. We've been a global partner since 2014, and we've developed many custom solutions together and integrations for our customers, including the Rely.ai platform, which we'll present in a bit. I'm proud to say we have over 800 of our SAP quality engineers certified and actively using Tricentis suite of products to deliver automation and other forms of testing to our customers. We have received many awards from Tricentis during our partnership, and here are some of the Partner of the Year awards that we've received in the last couple of years, including the Partner Champion and Global Breakthrough Partner Awards last year. Right. Now, speaking of testing offerings by LTIMindtree, in the SAP testing space, we offer end-to-end testing solutions, including mobile, API, NFR testing, data migration, security testing for any new S4 HANA implementations, migrating from legacy SAP ECC to S4 HANA. We support cloud migration projects, technical upgrades, or setting up an independent testing center of excellence. We also resell tool licenses for many of our customers. So that's about LTIMindtree. We will now look into some of the key challenges in S4HANA transformation projects, the risks that it brings to business, and we will quickly move on to how LTIMindtree's Rely.ai platform addresses these challenges and mitigate risks. Now, analysts report that over 85% of production defects in S4 HANA implementation are due to inadequate testing. Which includes testing the interfaces with boundary applications. Now, fixing these problems in production costs about 3 times more than fixing it during the realization phase of the project. The other challenge, like Bill mentioned some time back, is optimizing the effort and knowing what exactly to test and how much to test. So our solutions to these challenges and the risk severity that it poses in running businesses is Rely.ai. Now, so moving quickly on to the Rely.ai, which is the topic of discussion for today. Rely.ai is our state-of-the-art quality assurance platform powered by partnership with LTIMindtree and Tricentis. It is designed to de-risk SAP S4HANA deployment. Rely.ai ensures all critical business processes are thoroughly tested and validated by integrating continuous testing throughout and after migration. Driven by advanced AI and GenAI features, Relay AI delivers measurable results. We have seen a 2x increase in the release rates the very first year with some of our customers that uses Relay.ai. We were able to achieve over 70% error reduction and 50% less effort in test script creation and test execution while achieving close to 100% test coverage. Right. Now, here are some of the key components of this platform. I will quickly introduce these tools and we will do a deep dive and demonstrate some of these tools in just a bit. The first one here is LTIM Test Academia. This is a library of manual and automated test cases available based on industry and business process area classification. This is derived based on the SAP best practice for industry verticals. We have leveraged the self-healing and Vision AI capabilities to develop component-based scripts, providing maximum reusability and reduction in test design. The next one is LTIM Test Genius. This is a GenAI based manual test builder application. Test Genius takes SAP BPMN, which is the business process modeling notation from either SAP Signavio, the solution manager, or Cloud ALM, or even a business process flow diagram that is hand drawn by a user to generate positive and negative test cases. Now, this works in conjunction on I mean works and amplifies the work that Qtest Copilot already does and can convert test cases or create test cases based on the requirements, the either from ADO or from Jira project management tools. Right. The next one here is LTIM Data Fabric. The data fabric has two components to it. There is a data extraction component that runs on SAP BTP to pull real-time test data from the SAP tables, and the second component is the synthetic data generation component, which uses GenAI to create millions of unique data records. Some of our customers are using this tool to generate ample unique data sets in the SAP development environments to provide developers with ample test data. The next component in Rely.ai is LTIM Art. This is an advanced reporting tool to create custom summary and detailed PDF reports, providing business users with an easy UI to navigate to test results for specific test cases using hyperlinks within the PDFs. We'll look into this also in detail in the coming slides. I would like to now hand it over to my colleague Guru to speak about the Smart Assist and how the AI agents integrate and share data to enhance S4 HANA quality assurance. Over to you, Guru.
Thanks, Ajay. So before I go into the Smart Assist, I just want to briefly touch on some of why we have built the GenAI enablers into all the other components that Ajay just spoke about, right? For instance, if you look at the Test Genius, we did talk about the ability to create detailed test cases from BPMN or Signavio diagrams, or worst case scenarios when we do not have sufficient process documentation. We would want to have businesses, just work with us, draw a simple process diagram to explain how the process is. We are able to take that diagram and using generative AI capabilities, we're able to create a very comprehensive set of use cases. And we've looked at this not just because it's a cool to have feature, but there are practical challenges that we have seen where a lot of enterprises do not have sufficient documentation, process details available, and this tools really help, augmented by generative AI. Yeah. Sorry, am I audible now? I think there was a bit of a
You're
little
audible
network.
now, Guru. Yes.
Yeah. All right. So now talking about Smart Assist, right? What we have tried to reimagine is how we will be able to bring the entire concept of agentic AI into every aspect of what we do in the SAP space. And now, as you all know, agentic AI or AI agents, as they call, are specific bots trained with a specific model and a goal that they will need to focus on. So they are basically your shining partners who help you do your job much better. And we've looked at the day in the life of an SAP user, right from the time that they engage or work on their day-to-day tasks on SAP GUI or on Fiori screens. They will need to manage specific errors that they would encounter as they run SAP. And we have introduced generative AI right at that point of the error occurring to provide self guided resolution for the user to fix those issues if possible on their own. And if they are not able to fix it, then we are able to gather all the necessary details related to the error, related logs, screenshots, all that is required for the technical teams to fix the issue. Now, in the process, what this also does is we are able to bring in specific agentic AI, into the act. So we have a master agent who now looks at the issue and then feels or gets the symptoms of what the possible issue could be and route it to the specific function agents. It could be an OTC, R2R, procurement, could be any kind of agents who now have the ability and the knowledge to process the error, identify what could be the root cause, and then try to give the recommended fixes also updated onto ServiceNow. Now, that's just not the end, right? What we want to do is we want to now take it one level ahead and bring our Rely.ai agent, talk to the review agent to see what really happened when the error occurred. Was this error due to a lack of functionality or functional coverage in the test cases? Was it related to data that was specific to the test scenarios that was not tested? So it can really now engage with the review agent and then try to recommend back into the Rely.ai framework to say, hey, you know what, this error occurred because of specific reasons. You need to make sure that your integration test need to get covered in a better way. So it gives the recommendation for the test to be added, and that gets updated into the repository. Thereby we are able to not just give a cool way of how SAP users interact with SAP, but also we are continuously shifting left as much as possible to see how we can refine the test coverage, look at special test scenarios that may need to get added. If there's a performance bottleneck, bring that recommendation, refine the test coverage to include the performance scenarios, etc. So that's the way we are looking at for the agentic AI workforce to work along with SAP users to really elevate the way we not just interact with SAP, but also bring the required quality assurance, value assurance through our Rely.ai framework, along with the Tricentis platforms. Yeah, Ajay, back to you.
Thanks,
You're on
Guru.
mute, Ajay.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
thank you. Let me quickly, we have a small demo on the agentic AI. So let me play that and have Guru do a voiceover. Over to you, Guru.
Yeah. So as I stated, we are introducing a novel way to manage end user incidents for SAP applications using the system AI-powered platform. And we built a state-of-the-art SLM to power this as well. In the demo, you can see the user hosting a transaction in SAP encounters an error. Now the performance assistance dialog window is able to now identify what the error is and recommend what the possible error could be there. This is powered by our contextual help on the SLM. And now our agentic AI root determination is now able to quickly identify what the knowledge source is available, based on that, provide the necessary steps to resolve the issue. So the user is able to resolve the issue, then great, they're able to continue without any kind of interruptions. If not, we are able to now automatically create a ServiceNow incident directly from SAP. And the added benefit is that the user is able to gather all the technical details, etc., and then provide the necessary resolution steps into ServiceNow. And now the magic happens behind, where the review agent communicates with the Rely agent, talking about the specific error that has happened with the root cause, and then they are able to now identify what the potential steps need to be taken care on the Rely.ai platform, right? So how cool is that, right? So we would really want to encourage you to come to our booth at Sapphire Orlando or Madrid to see our agentic AI workforce in action. So it's a very quick demo in the interest of time, but happy to really have some detailed discussions. Thank you.
Thanks for that, Guru. All right, now moving on to the next set of GenAI enhanced accelerators within the Relay.ai platform. Let's now look into a demo of the LTIM Test Genius tool, which, like I mentioned before, is a GenAI based manual test builder application. It takes SAP business process modeling notation or even a business process flow diagram, like you mentioned, that's hand drawn by a user to generate positive and negative test cases that are very detailed. So, without any further delay, let me go ahead and share my screen and walk you all through the testiness demo. Okay. So the input for this Test Genius tool, um, like we mentioned, is could be a business process flow or a business process modeling notation. Now, before we provide the business process flow, we would like to train the model. We have this option to upload best practices. This could be your SAP best practices. It could be a current, the um, the requirement documents that you have, the functional document, the functional specification that you would have either on ECC or on S4. It could be just your current manual test case list. Also, that's something that you can upload as best practices. That way, you're just feeding the tool with all the, you're training the tool with all the relevant information for the specific project that you're working on, right? Now, once we have trained, again, that's an optional step, right? But in order to generate the manual test cases itself, um, we have this option, like we mentioned, where we can go in and upload a BPMN or a business flow in a process diagram, and then select the system, for which you would like to create those manual test cases, and the version of that of system. It could be ECC or S4, and hit generate manual test cases. Now, as you could see, the tool itself gives the test case title. It tells us who it was, who generated that particular test case, when it was generated, the processing status. We can view those test cases. We can view the business process flow, the PDF that we uploaded. It could be a JPEG as well, just like a hand drawn a diagram of a business process flow. So we could view that, and also once the test cases are generated, we can, it has hyperlinks. Clicking on that will basically download the test cases. So right now we uploaded, in this example, we uploaded a standard procure to pay process, business process flow to generate the test cases. It takes some time to process the test cases. So what we want to show is something that we already generated for an inquire to invoice business process flow. As you could see, this is the SAP BPMN document that we uploaded, and the process was completed. And this is the test case that the GenAI tool, the Test Genius tool, was able to generate. It has the test case ID, the objective, preconditions, maintained, individual step descriptions, and detailed expected results. And it also has the T code, wherein we'll have to perform these actions as well. Now, these test cases, again, the fields that you see here can be customized based on the test management tool that you're using. We have been able to integrate this with Qtest successfully. We also have this integrated with ADO and Jira and few other test management tools as well. Right now, we can, there's an option to download this test case, the test case that is generated, into an Excel file. And we've also been able to use the Qtest API to instead of manually uploading these test cases into Qtest test design repository, we can use the open APIs available to basically have these test cases directly created in Qtest in the specific folders as well. So that's the power of test genius, where it kind of basically creates detailed multiple variations of test cases. All right, let me end screen share. Let me bring back the slides here really quick. Okay, now that we've seen the test case builder, which is the test genius tool that uses GenAI, we will now look into the test data generator. Now, like I mentioned earlier, the data fabric has two components. One is a synthetic data generator component, which basically uses GenAI to create millions of data records from the data sets that we provide. It also has a data extraction component that uses, SAP BTP. I mean, that sits on SAP BTP, and it reads the SAP tables, to basically extract test data for our for any testing in dev or QA environments. Now, let me, for this demo, we will look at the synthetic data generation, which is the GenAI part of it. So let me go back and share my screen again and walk you through how this generative AI helps in building a bunch of, synthetic data for us. Let me share my screen here. Okay. So I opened this Excel, which has, this is basically, this is how we train train the tool at the first place. Now, obviously, for it to generate millions of data records, it needs to understand, the tool needs to understand the age and needs to understand what goes in, what is the prerequisite, like what are the mandatory fields, which are the fields that it can play around with and create more unique data sets and all of that. So in this you know uh, for this demo video, what we did is we used the file that I just shared some time back, and we trained the model using about 1,000 sales records. And the intention here is to use this 1,000 sales records and to build about 10,000 sales records. So what this the AI tool does is it basically looks into this 1,000 different sales areas, sales order entries that we provided. It understands the different fields that goes in there, and then we should be able to get the data. And it gives us an option to enter the number of rows that we would like to generate. We've picked 10,000 in this example, so that we can, it generates really quick, and then we should be able to see the record. So we have an option to download this data into a CSV. Again, we um, have used different ways to get this data back into SAP. We've used LSMW with some of our customers. We've used automation tool to create master data and to create transaction data as well, using the data sets that this particular tool has generated. So as you could see, we were able to generate about, we used 1,000 records to generate about 10,000 records. And this tool, we can use this tool to create millions of records. And the way this helps is to basically um, provide uh, the performance team or the development team with ample data in development environment, and for the performance team we can provide ample data in the quality system as well. Now, there is also this evaluation component in this tool, which basically evaluates the output that it generated, and it says if they are adhering to the boundary value and the key uniqueness component of testing. So that's about the test generator tool. Let me stop sharing and bring the slides back. Okay. Um, all right. There we go. Here are some other accelerators that that's part of Rely.ai. Now, Test Academia, like I mentioned earlier, this is a library of manual and automated test cases. It is based on the industry and business process area classification. This is derived basically based on the SAP best practice for industry verticals. Now, we have leveraged self-healing and the Vision AI capabilities to develop component-based test cases that provides maximum reusability and reduction in generation time. To the right side, we have the LTIM art, which is the automated advanced reporting tool. I'm sorry. Now, um, what art does is it creates a custom summary and detailed report. It provides the business users an easy UI to navigate to the test results with all the hyperlinks within the PDF. That makes it faster for the business users to basically review the Tosca execution reports. Let's say you have about 15 test cases that you've executed using Tosca in an execution list. Now, it might provide us with a 150-page document. Now, your test case number one could be a sales document, and your test case number 10 could be an invoice document. Now, the business users could be different. You could have different people reviewing the test cases. So when you share when you share the execution report with business, what art the way art customizes the reporting tool is it adds hyperlink. So it basically puts all your test cases in on your first page, and it has hyperlink. So it becomes easy for the business users to just click on that particular test case that they are interested about, and then go in there and look at the test results as well. And it also kind of summarizes and gives only the functional information that's needed for a business user than any technical aspects of how it is coded in Tosca as well. So that's how art is used in conjunction with all the other GenAI tools that we just looked into. Now, this slide here basically gives a view of how all of these accelerators, as part of Relay.ai that we looked at, how it falls in place and how it works hand in hand with the Tricentis suite of products in an end-to-end software testing lifecycle. Right. So, as part of the test planning phase, one of the components of Relay.ai is predefined templates and best practices and checklists. So we use that to basically come up with the test artifacts, test strategy documents, and planning documents, and such. Now, as we move on to the test design phase, like we mentioned, like we looked some time back, we use the Test Genius app that can basically consume the business process flow diagrams from Signavio and Solution Manager or user inputs and convert them into manual test cases. Now, like I said earlier, Qtest also has a Copilot component which basically can leverage the requirements that's there in Jira or any other project management tool and convert that into test cases. So the GenAI basically adds to what Qtest does. It differs in a way that it can basically read the end-to-end business process flows and generate the test cases on the fly. Now, once we have the test cases generated, we will like I said, we can use APIs to integrate with the test management tools like Qtest or Tosca and have these manual test cases imported in there. Now, um, when it comes to automation and writing test cases for best practices, we already have Test Academia, which with basically a bunch of already pre-written manual and automation test cases. We can upload that directly into Qtest and Tosca, and we can use the data fabric accelerator that we looked in to basically generate the test data that is needed for our development and the QE teams. Now, um, the life compare, which basically is the primary component in order to optimize your test suite, comes in hand in identifying what to test, and identifying the most at risk items, identifying the impacted items. And life compare can provide us with the test hits and gaps. So any basically, as we address the gap, we can identify all the hits and use that by running an intelligent execution where we use the distributed execution methodology or distributed execution feature that Tosca provides, right? And then we then will use the advanced reporting tool, the art tool, which basically creates custom report for business users. So that's how all the accelerators that are as part of Glide.ai work hand in hand and support the Tricentis suite of products in delivering end-to-end solutions. All right. Now, Um, Let me go back and share my screen and have Bill walk us through the autonomous co-pilot really quick.
Yes, thank you. And as he's shifting, everyone noticed the Test Academy of feeding Tosca. And what I want to show you now is something that's just entering open beta and will be available for general availability by the end of the month. And that is Tricentis' first true agentic offering. Now imagine we have a suite of modules, and imagine we have that manual test output that comes from the Rely.ai framework. I'm able to feed that into our agentic AI, and using Vision AI through those high level instructions actually create Tosca automation. Now remember, Tosca is a code free solution. Hence, no other AI service is going to be able to replicate what it can do. I can also feed in the data that comes from the Rely.ai framework. And what this will do is look at each page of the application. One, understand what it's seeing using Vision AI. Two, understand what needs to be done to process through that page. Three, it takes action. And that's really the differentiator when we start talking about agentics. It will create the Tosca artifacts or leverage the existing Academia artifacts on the fly and assemble this test flow automatically. And four, it will learn from its mistakes as it executes. If it gets stuck and realizes, I don't have the proper data or I'm missing a step, it's already learned the lesson to ask for help. This is meant to be an interactive session. We can also monitor the documentation as it flows here. I'm a big believer that as these agentic tools become more and more powerful, quality engineers have to be in the loop in order to understand, are they providing value? Are they doing the correct thing? This is an interactive type of session because we are the last line of defense when it comes to quality, especially given the artifacts that the quality engineering team is producing themselves. Now, keep in mind, I haven't had to interact with the agentic at all in this example. It simply has gone through, documented everything to proceed to the ultimate goal, which was to process the order. By the way, we've already pre trained it with all SAP best practices. It's generated these Tosca artifacts that I now have a Tosca test that I can go back, analyze, make sure the data is correct, parameterize, and then rerun. Maybe it's a data repeatability issue. Maybe we need to make the data dynamic. But the key here is we're not just recreating new artifacts. We're looking at what Rely.ai has already provided for us and leveraging those artifacts in order to keep our test repository clean. Now, we talked about how this helps with maintenance. What if tomorrow, instead of 4 or 5 screens, it's for 6 or 7 screens? It wouldn't matter. The AI would figure it out and reproduce the proper Tosca artifact at the moment of execution. What if the objects were to change? Here's where our self-healing would engage, that neural network-based capability that I teased at the very beginning. And of course, leveraging Vision AI, we're able to have a great deal of flexibility in how it recognizes those objects. In fact, Vision AI is so powerful, we can actually create our automation models just from mockups if we need to. Now, what you're seeing here is the validation run. I've created my test flow, I've examined it physically, and now I'm going back and re-execute it. And this, again, will tie into the downstream processes Rely AI. So we're very excited to bring this new agentic autonomous test creator to market. Again, it is in an open beta this week, should be available for general availability by the end of the month, and it will be able to operate beyond the confines of SAP as well. At first, general web applications, but because we're leveraging Vision AI, there's really no boundary to what this will be able to do. So just another way we're providing value to the quality engineer and allowing them to elevate what they do in their day-to-day. So we were very excited about everything we showed you today. And as we teased there briefly, I hope you will come by and see us at Sapphire. I know I will be there, and I'll be glad to talk to you more in detail about all these offerings.
Absolutely. Thanks, Bill. Um, I want to end by saying, like many of our customers, you can certainly rely on LTIMindtree's Rely.ai to drive seamless S/4HANA transformation and maximize your ROI. And like Bill mentioned, LTIMindtree is also available, to meet you and talk to you through some of our solutions at the SAP Sapphire 2025. um, we'll be at booth number 401 in Orlando between May 19 and 21, and booth number 10.334 in Madrid, Spain between May 26 and 28. So feel free to stop by and go over some of our the tools and new technologies in the GenAI space that we are building to enhance testing and the other development space as well. Okay, and we'll send out a flyer with all the information. And like Bill mentioned, Tricentis will be available at meeting room number 1000 for any fireside chat, and you can scan this QR code to basically get yourself registered. We'll send over the links over an email as well after this webinar. Thank you for your patience. We do have a few questions from our participants. The first question is, what is the AI model that the GenAI tool uses that you present today? Guru, would you like to take that question?
Yeah. So, see, we have used a combination of RAG, graph RAG, and the underlying model is the SLM that is powering this entire solution. So, as you all know, SLMs are small language models, and we have developed this small language model with over 8 billion parameters, SAP parameters. So it really knows what needs to be done for SAP. And with agentic AI, where we give the agent specific goals, right? So you can imagine them as specific employees for whom or to whom you've given specific tasks. So they are able to build that correlation. They're able to build that inference, and then act on these specific actions, in a very intelligent way. So that's a short answer for the underlying model of these solutions.
Thank you, Guru. We do have another question from Bhavani. It says, does it give only the positive path test cases? She's talking about Test Genius. Is it always one-on-one, which means one process will generate one happy path scenario? Bhavani, no, the Test Genius actually provides us with, so the way we've developed Test Genius is and trained it is to provide multiple variations of a test case, which would also include the negative aspects of it. So every test case that Test Genius would develop will also have a negative flavor to basically cover the negative testing as well, Pavani. We do have another question from one of the participants. Um, Kumar, do these tools work in silo, or can we have these integrated with client apps and Tricentis products? So pretty much all the tools that we discussed today are very tightly integrated with Tricentis suite of products, and some of these can also be integrated with SAP directly, right? And so, for example, the um, data generator tool, which basically is built on the SAP B2P integration suite, can directly talk to SAP pull the or extract the test data that is required. We have Test Genius, which addresses the test gaps. Now, Test Genius can be integrated with Qtest or any other test or test management tool using the open APIs. We have Art, which is already integrated with Tosca, and it can also be integrated with Worksoft as well. We have Test Academia, again, which we can use the APIs to upload the prerequisite or preset test cases and automation scripts into the test management tool that is of your choice, and also the test automation tool as well. Hope that answers your question. Um, can all these tools be used in brownfield versus greenfield? Yes, certainly. Right, because again, the usage could be different in brownfield and greenfield, but you would certainly want your test cases. There could be test gaps from your existing test repository. Life compare will help in identifying those gaps, and we can use tools like test genius to have those test cases developed, right? And then we can use the data fabric to pull in test data. We can use art for the custom reporting as well. So yeah, it can certainly be used in both brownfield and greenfield. Yeah, those are the questions that we have. Like I mentioned earlier, we'll send out a flyer with all the useful links where you can use that you can use to register for this affair. Feel free to drop a note if you have any questions, and hope to talk to you all and meet you all soon.
Thank you, everyone. Look forward to meeting you at Sapphire.
All right. Thanks, everyone. I'll end the webinar now.
Thank you all. Have a nice day. Cheers. Bye bye.